All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Wandering Skeletons. We got Reese here leading the segment today. We're going to be talking about the paranormal sides and if they're real or not. So I originally wanted to talk about this because I don't know if you guys saw, but a couple weeks ago, the president of Mexico tweeted out a picture of what he said was a wood elf and that it was a real thing.
What?
And I was really, yeah. So he tweeted a
Wait, I didn't know
picture
this.
of, like a little, like, it looked like kind of like a raccoon almost in a tree. And he said, like, oh, this is, they had a specific Mexican name for it. It was like a wood elf, almost kind of like just a fairy creature. It was like him saying that it was real. And I thought that was really weird.
Wait,
It's like I need to look this up.
yeah, I'm looking it up too.
Wait, so
On
the actual
Hallucinates?
president
Yeah, the president of Mexico.
Yeah,
would
yeah,
elf.
that little photo. That is a creepy photo, dude. Look at that thing.
That is
Yeah.
creepy.
It was so weird. I was from like the president of Mexico. I was just like taken back.
Oh,
So
So-
that's
my
what made you
gosh.
want to talk about paranormal things.
Yeah, I was like, huh.
President of Mexico.
And I've been watching the show Evil lately, but that show's garbage, so don't watch it.
What's this show about?
So it's about like a Catholic priest. It's kind of like the X-Files, but with like the Catholic edition.
Oh,
So they do like exorcisms and stuff. And it had a really good first season, but then the second season turned into, it was just bad. It was
It
bad.
was just bad.
So anyway,
Dang.
okay, I know what your guys' opinions. Do you believe in like ghosts and like Bigfoot, or where do you stand on this stuff?
you could go first. All right.
I have no clue. I feel like probably okay. They probably exist to some extent. I don't think they like if they do exist, it's probably some crap we can't understand at all. Like it's not like the movies where it's like, oh, there's paranormal activity. Look, you saw the ghost. Like I don't think they live in that kind of sense. You know, we probably can't interact with them at all if they do exist. But I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I
I
haven't
don't know
really
either.
thought about it, dude. I know this was the topic for today, so maybe I should have given it some more thought. But, I mean, yeah, I'm religious, so in a sense, I have to think that that kind of crap has to exist. But like a ghost, I don't know if that exists in like the way it's presented normally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that exists, if I had to say something.
Yeah, one time I was at my friend's house and we were watching like a ghost, I don't know, like a supernatural show, and they're like, "Oh, do you guys believe in ghosts?" I was like, "No, that's stupid." And they're like, "Wait a minute, but you're religious. You have to believe in ghosts." It's like, no.
No?
If like Chucky
Yeah.
comes at me, it's not because there's a ghost in it. It's because it's Chucky. I mean, I don't believe Chucky's real, obviously, but like, I mean, there's a difference.
There's
Yeah,
a
I think
difference.
it's interesting because you can kind of divide into like two, I guess, different subjects. I guess I would say like one like religious, where you can talk about like, you know, human spirits maybe coming back or whatever, you know, if you believe or not. And then you can talk about like, well, does, you know, Bigfoot or does the Loch Ness monster, is that really religious? Or is
Yeah.
that
Do you
just
consider those
something weird?
paranormal?
I would say they fall under the broad subject of paranormal, just kind of monsters. Because I mean, like, I feel personally, I believe in like, you know, Bigfoot, but I don't know if I'd say like Loch Ness monster. But I
Wait,
don't know.
you
I feel
believe in
like,
Bigfoot?
yeah, I believe in Bigfoot.
Wait, to
Oh
like,
my gosh.
like what? Because I know there's some people who believe like, oh, there might be like a creature out there, but it's no more paranormal than like a bear or something. It's just like a species of animal you haven't discovered. Do you think like that, or are you like Bigfoot's like an alien or some crap? Like what? Where on the
So
spectrum do you lie?
yeah. So first of all, I just like the reason why I believe in Bigfoot is because I kind of feel like there's something out there, and plus my dad says he saw it. and he's really
Oh,
firm on
that's
that.
right. I remember you told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
So,
crazy.
um, yeah. So it's interesting because I can look at this in two different perspectives. Sometimes, if you look through like a religious perspective, some people believe that Bigfoot, because in the Bible they talk about like the descendants of Cain or Cain is forced to walk on the earth until time ends, and so some people believe that Bigfoot is actually like Cain walking around still.
Oh,
I kind of think that Bigfoot is like some weird like almost like a weird creature that is like just really good at hiding. Kind
La
of like
Criatura.
what?
How do you spell say creature in Spanish, Jorge?
Creature. Isn't it criatura?
I don't know. I
Or
just know
did I
there's a meme
say that
about it.
wrong? I only know Spanish from my parents, and I don't think they've ever said creature in
La
Spanish.
Oh,
Criatura.
they've never said
Like
creature.
criatura?
You know, they
No,
look at you in the
that
morning and
sounds
go,
wrong.
ah, La Criatura. Okay, I'm done being racist. What were you saying
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, so I don't know. That's what I think. I think there's like something out there that we just like, we still haven't discovered most of the ocean. So I feel like there's
Yeah,
a
it's true.
possibility that there's still something out there.
Hmm.
Ah, man, I don't know. It's so interesting that your dad saw Bigfoot because the only thing I'm thinking of is there was this one story where this guy allegedly got raped by a female Bigfoot.
What?
What are you reading, dude? What?
You
You're
guys
in the
haven't heard
tabloids or
that?
something.
No.
No.
He has a huge platform on TikTok right now too. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Because I
What's
saw
his
him on
name?
TikTok. Oh shoot,
Does
I'll
he
just
have
look him
video
up.
evidence?
No, I don't think he does.
Oh.
Any voice recordings?
Uh,
Oh.
One sec, let me look this up. I need to go into incognito to look this up.
Wait, so George, do you not believe in Bigfoot then?
No. I don't know.
Do you believe in any like supernatural monsters, I guess then?
That's what I was just barely thinking. Like, out of all of them, which one do I think is like the most likely? Um, Probably. I don't know. Like, because I know there's like Bigfoot, the Loch Ness monster. What else? What else would be in that same category as those guys?
Would you
Oh
consider
shoot, the Mothman.
The
what?
Mothman?
The Mothman. You guys don't know your cryptids very well.
No.
Would you
All right, that's the
those-
video.
Oh sweet. Would you consider the skinwalkers part of that?
Oh
Skinwalkers.
shoot.
Yeah, I guess those, right?
Like
Or
I mean,
the chupacabra and stuff like that. I guess that would also go under that umbrella too.
they all fit into like cryptid categories, but like ghosts aren't cryptids, right? I don't really.
No, yeah, I don't think we're. Well, are cryptids paranormal? I don't know what the.
Because like cryptids are like the Wendigo, skinwalkers too, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know if it falls under like Bigfoot. Is Bigfoot a cryptid?
You
I
know a
think
lot more
so.
about classification than I do.
Yeah, I think Bigfoot would be considered a cryptid, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think yeah.
I mean, okay, we have access to the internet. I'm just gonna look up cryptids.
That's what I
and-
did. Yeah, list of cryptids.
Any creature that
Oh,
may or may
whoa.
not exist.
Yeah.
That's not very helpful.
That may not.
Yo, what the heck?
What?
Look at this dude. Oh, I can't send it. Aw. I have a
could
list of cryptids on my screen right now.
Could screen share it.
Oh, that's true. How do I do that?
I don't know.
Oh, there we go. There it is. Look at this. Look at this little guy.
What the? Ain't no way. Oh my! No one
No.
would believe in that.
Right under Loch Ness Monster is this thing called the Ningen.
What? I think that exists probably. Most likely
The heck
that
is-
exists.
Oh
There's
my.
Bigfoot.
Whoa, Bigfoot.
Did I ever tell you that?
Chupacabra.
when my dad talked to the natives about Bigfoot.
No. What?
Okay, so this is really interesting. So, for context, my family, we lived in a bush village in Alaska for about 8 months, and my dad was working with Native Americans there. And so a lot of what he did, he'd fly out to different bush villages and do psychology stuff with them or whatever. And one time, he asked them about Bigfoot. What do they talk about? And so they kind of sat him down. And they said, we need to be kind of like sacred almost about this subject. So they said they called him the woodsman, and that they lived kind of like by this river, and that he was on the other side of the river. They could never as kids, they could never go off and play by themselves by this area. Otherwise, the woodsman would come in and steal them, and they'd be lost. And so
Really?
one time, this very old, like she's kind of like the matriarchy of the village. She was talking about how she was a kid alone in her house, and she felt kind of like a presence coming or something. And so she kind of felt really scared, so she ran underneath her parents' bed, and something clunked in and started walking around the house, and it came close to her, and it was just like a bunch of hairy legs. That's all she could see, and she felt pretty awful. And then it kind of walked out, and afterwards she could smell like this weird animal scent. And so that was like their story of the Bigfoot, was the woodsman.
Real, dude, that's
Okay.
so. Well, imagine a homeless person just walked into their house.
There's some wacko, like, oh, it's Bigfoot.
Oh, dude, that's low-key creepy.
I know,
mean,
isn't that kind
yeah.
of weird though? Like that they have like a set, and this is the middle of nowhere, right? Like it's not
Yeah,
anywhere news collected. So I always thought that
it's
was interesting.
yeah, it's weird when supernatural things pop up in different cultures, because like they see the same things, but you're like, oh, that's not real. Of course, like dragons. Dragons are in like every major culture ever, but there's not any dragons around, right? So why
Yeah.
does every single culture that aren't in the same like areas, why do they have the same supernatural like beings?
There's
Yeah,
probably some logical explanation. Some dude. Well, honestly, we don't get any views, so no comments yet. But I wouldn't. There's probably some explanation. Some smart guys like, oh, actually, they all saw this event, and this is why they all have dragons, or something like that.
Oh, maybe.
the
I
only thing I
mean,
can. Sorry,
like
go ahead.
comments or something. I don't know.
I
Like
feel like
meteors. I don't know.
the random explanation I get off my head is like, let's say like someone found like an old T-Rex fossil of their head or something. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
that's a dragon or something. Maybe it's whether that way. I don't know.
that's true. I mean, there's some old recreation of fossils that look so terrible. Look up worst. Oh shoot. Actually, don't do it. I forgot what it's called.
Uh,
What would it even be called? Worst ecological, archaeological
I think
bone
just
rebuild.
worst fossil reconstructions, maybe.
Oh, that would make sense.
Oh, is it? What is this? The Magdeburg unicorn?
Yeah. Look
What
at that thing.
is this? Oh my goodness!
Oh my gosh.
Wait, so what's the story behind this? What the heck?
Some grad student didn't know what he was doing, apparently. The Magdeburg unicorn.
oh my gosh, that looks so goofy.
who put that together and just left it? Who put it into
Yeah.
a museum?
Dog doesn't have like any ribs, no arms. Like what? How does that even work?
Wait,
Oh man.
what
It
the
was
heck?
partly rhinoceros.
Oh my
So it was like a
gosh.
rhino or something.
Wait, so they reconstructed this in 1714?
Oh whoa, that's
The
old.
1700s, yeah.
1714 to 1759.
Oh wow.
Holy crap!
Weird.
Wait. So it's
Yeah,
that old?
Prussian.
Okay, that
It
makes
was a
sense.
Prussian scientist, Otto von Guericke. Yeah, he found some bones of a woolly rhinoceros, and he just put them together, I guess, and made
And he
that.
thought it was a unicorn. Which, to be honest, if it was a rhinoceros, I could see how they could go to the unicorn with the whole spike thing and everything.
Yeah.
Still kind of weird, but
Maybe, yeah.
But like on the topic of like supernatural things, even this like reconstruction, they're like, oh, it's a unicorn. And you know how Christopher Columbus, when they were sailing, they're like, oh, look at those mermaids and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I bet there's something like that out there that we would classify as like a supernatural creature. That's just like a genetic mutation or something like that.
Yeah, that's probably
Because
the
like
case.
a
For a lot.
horse with a horn makes a lot more sense than some of the crazy creatures we have already.
Mhm.
I mean, so it's not that far of a fetch. It's not that far fetched to think we have supernatural creatures around.
yeah.
So
I,
we kind of went away from the original thing. Do you think
oh, yeah.
there are any real supernatural creatures? Like, which one's the most likely to actually be like, okay, this is actually just a supernatural thing? Not like, though, it can be logically explained with like they just are stupid and they put bones together wrong or something like that.
Like one-off creatures like the chupacabra or like the Loch Ness monster. There's no way those things are real. But if there's a I don't know. If there's an offshoot of humans that are like super big and hairy that wander into Native American villages, I mean, I wouldn't put it off.
Yeah. So you think? I think. Yeah. So I don't know about Bigfoot because here's the thing about Bigfoot is that it's like predominantly in the U.S., right? Like that's a U.S. thing.
Yeah, you
do
got
feel
like, I
like
mean, you got the Yeti in like Asia
Yeah,
or whatever.
that's what I was gonna say. Is if one of these do exist, I'd probably bet on the Yeti more than Bigfoot.
Yeah, understandable.
The Yeti is like actually like in the middle of nowhere. Now there are places in America that are like the woods that no one's like seen, but I just feel like there would be it would be it would be like impossible basically in my opinion that no one's ever like gotten like a photo or something. I mean,
Yeah.
people have faked photos, but we know those are
Yeah.
fake. Like I feel like we would have at least gotten a couple of like real ones if it did exist. Whereas the Yeti, I mean, those places where it is, like in the Alps, it's like the Alps is not. There's not too many people there. I don't think.
That's no man's land.
Yeah. So I can again. I'm not saying the Yeti exists, but if any of them actually did exist, I'd probably bet on the Yeti.
Yeah.
Either that or some water creature.
I
It's the
would
same
honestly-
only think these things exist if they came in like as a species. If there's just one of them, I don't think that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, that makes no sense. We've had Bigfoot sightings for a very, very long time. And there's no way it's going to survive that long.
Unless it's like some weird monster, right? Like an alien almost in some sense.
I don't know.
No, that's some other crap. No, aliens are they're a weird topic.
Do you
Yeah.
believe in aliens?
No,
What?
Really?
I think if aliens exist, they probably exist on some planet somewhere. Probably not bothered with us.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
But that means they're still aliens.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I
so-
guess yeah, I do, but not on the same level as like movie aliens or something.
Oh, yeah.
You don't
I don't
believe
think
it.
there's a chance that there's like an alien race that can travel galaxies. I don't think that's possible.
Mhm.
At least yet. I mean, but like,
Yeah,
there's
that's what I was gonna
100%
say.
life on different planets.
I feel like
It is kind of
yeah.
weird. The only thing
I'm-
that's
I'm-
weird about that whole thing. Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, I kind of feel like we have all these high expectations, like aliens gonna be super, advanced. But I feel like if we ever get to the point where we're exploring other galaxies, the first like alien interactions we're gonna see are like random viruses or mushrooms, like on a different planet, not like full-on civilizations.
Yeah. I mean, there's I don't know. There's a ton of reasonings why I don't know, I think they're called like Great Barriers or something for like civilizations and just life in general.
Hmm.
I think it's like just the chance of something like the chance of life happening out of nothing is really slim. But since the universe is so huge, it's bound to happen again, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like the amount of like, you just have so many chances. Eventually, one or two just have to happen, right?
Yeah.
Wait, have they found life on another planet yet? Because
No,
it's
I don't
not
think
like
I
I
don't
so.
think
really.
so.
They still haven't.
I think it's like, oh, there's water on this place.
But we
Maybe.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the. I mean, I don't know. I I just find it weird that we haven't found anything. But then again, it's not like I keep up with that. Maybe it's a lot harder to detect life on another planet than I'm giving it like thought to, I
Yeah, I
guess.
don't know.
I think it'll
Like
be
I 100%
exponential.
think there's aliens, yeah.
Yeah.
I think within like the next 20 to 30 years, we'll probably be like, on Mars and then like furthering space exploration. I would not be surprised if we encountered something through that time.
Yeah.
Would you rather? Well, this is kind of a question. Well, what is it? I forget what that thing is called, but would you rather there be no aliens or there might be like really powerful aliens? Which one would you rather? Like,
I would I don't know. How hot are they?
If they're really
Oh
hot,
man.
yes or no?
they're
I would
not.
say
They
yes every time.
every time.
Ooh.
Yeah, I feel like even if they're more powerful, like we have to take a gamble on if they're friendly or not. But I feel like if they were friendly, the amount we could learn and like expand would be crazy.
Maybe. I don't know. For me, I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather live in a universe where it's just us. Not gonna lie.
Really? Isn't that
Yeah,
lonely?
I guess. I
I don't
mean,
know. I don't think I could handle. Well, actually, I could because we're not gonna find it in our lifetimes.
yeah.
But I would like, I would like for there to be aliens. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just like, what if like the only interaction we ever have with them is like, look, there's another alien, and then just Earth explodes and we all die instantly. Like that could be a possibility.
That's true.
It's
I don't
like
know why
that's
they'll do that, but it could be
Yeah.
true.
well,
Be
it
quick
could be
death at
just for
least.
fun, just like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because we're the dominant species on our planet, and we're definitely like a violent species.
Yeah,
I mean, you could
to
say
an
every
extent.
species is somewhat violent, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they need to be. So aliens would probably be very violent too.
At least close to
Mhm.
us.
Yeah.
They're
Or
structured
maybe
the
they've
same way.
transcended war and they're normal.
That'd
Probably
be
not.
nice.
They're a bunch of Buddhists. They somehow got our religion exactly the same.
If anything, I would prefer for us to be like a game show where they just watch us like The Sims, you know? I would like
Oh,
that.
I
That'd be
would
pretty
not
cool.
like that. No, dude. I would
Why
hate
not?
that.
Why not?
Because you can't, like, you would be okay with that? Just like,
Bro, if they're watching me, I better be like a superstar or something.
Bryant would be the face of everything in that world.
Exactly.
well, how do
I'm
you
their
know they're
poster
watching
boy,
you?
Jorge.
No, how do you know they're watching you for good reasons? You know, there are
Oh,
plenty
maybe
of
they
people on
like
the
how hot
internet.
I am.
No,
What was
no,
that?
you could be the like a lol cow for them. You know,
What does that mean? Are you calling me a
a lol
soy
cow.
jack?
No, no, you don't know what a lol cow is? It's someone
Oh,
who basically, I don't know how to describe it. Basically, their whole existence is just to get made fun of on the internet. You know?
a
So
lol
like do you
cow.
know Wings of Redemption?
No.
Oh, he's some streamer who's he's like really fat and he streams, but everyone who watches his streams it kind of makes me feel bad. If he wasn't okay, like I mean, I say that, but I do laugh at him a little bit too cuz he's pretty funny. I'm not a good person. But basically their whole existence is just to be laughed at on the internet. Like that's all they do. They go online. Oh, hey, Wings of Redemption is streaming. Let's go make fun of him, and then he'll react very violently to them. And then they take clips and they post it, and then more people know about him. Like it's kind of like a
You should
really
do that,
bad
George.
female.
Yeah.
I
George, you'd
should
be
do
great
that.
on that.
I am a very peaceful person. I would never react
Oh
violently.
my butt, you're peaceful.
I feel like
Uh,
okay, if anyone's gonna be a lol cow, I think it would be you, Reese.
it would be
Really?
me. I feel like it would be me.
Fair enough.
It's
Fair
like,
enough.
guys, stop! Oh my goodness! You're like
Well-
playing Apex, and they're like getting in front of you. You can't shoot the enemies at all. You're just like, get away!
Okay, but if the aliens are watching me or Reese or even you, Jorge, and we're the lockout, they're not gonna murder us because they think we're funny, right?
Yeah,
In a
that's
way,
true. That's
I'd
true.
almost prefer them to murder me. You know,
Yo,
they
if
see me
I
as
get
like
made
a
fun
threat.
of, I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna ask
Oh.
this. Do you guys believe this is kind of like transitioning back to I guess where we started, but like, do you guys believe spirits have like an impact on our world?
Mm,
Yeah, I think they do.
yeah,
But not
I'd probably-
physically.
What do you mean not physically?
I think they can only affect us, like, in our minds. I don't think they can move stuff around. That's stupid.
Interesting. So
I
do you
could
think
totally-
it's? Sorry, go ahead, George.
Oh. Well, you know, because there are some places that just like you know, like haunted locations and stuff like that. Now,
Yeah.
granted, maybe the reason why they feel creepy is just because people say they're creepy, so your brain is kind of susceptible to
Yeah.
that kind of feelings. But I wouldn't be shocked if those kinds of things were like something else was kind of causing those feelings and stuff, you know?
Mhm.
I don't know. And like the opposite could be said. Like
Yeah.
now again, could all be just like I guess like a placebo effect where it's just
Right.
like you're expecting this so you get it. It's nothing to do with spirits, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's like, oh, there's some people in the afterlife who are just like, let me make this guy feel really weird now, like he's being watched for no reason. Just I'm gonna do that. You know, I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case, because I would do that. That sounds pretty fun.
do you guys, so like Brian, when you say like they don't affect you physically, are you thinking like they give like visions to you, or they just kind of make
Yeah.
you feel weird, like George is saying?
It's like, yeah, it's like, I don't think they can, like, you know, those things where it's like, oh, exorcism. Oh, the furniture's flying around. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
I don't think that happens. But I do think
Interesting.
they can, like, affect how you feel. And, like, I don't know. It's very easy, at least in anatomy, we were actually talking about this. How
No, that's awesome.
how easy it is to, like, affect and have hallucinations. Because, like, there is one hallucination where you hear voices. It's like schizophrenia. And
Oh,
a lot of
really?
religious people assume they're talking to God or an angel. And so that's an actual medical condition, but I'm assuming when it's not a medical condition, stuff like that happens enough where if someone's getting affected, I don't know. It feels weird saying they're getting affected by like a spiritual thing,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but I mean, it's not surprising if you are religious, you have to be like, I don't know what I'm saying. It's tough.
I mean,
I feel embarrassed to say it, but
no, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, I've heard plenty of stories of people like who I don't know. They just hear they hear something. They're not schizophrenic, but they heard
Yeah.
something, and it kind of like changes their viewpoint on something. Like I know now. Again, I'm not saying this is the case 100%. Like if I was to debate someone on this, I'm not going to say like, oh, 100% it was a spirit. It could be your brain just has an idea and then you change your
Yeah.
whole outlook. But it just feels like specifically in like church, I've talked to a couple people who are like, oh, how'd you become a Christian? It's just like, I don't know. Just like I was doing normal things and then just like some thing happened, I just had a thought in my head, and my whole outlook like changed and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again,
I feel like that
could
happens a
just be
lot with
them.
religious people,
Yeah, and
especially.
it could be again just a normal thing. Your brain just puts two and two together. You just become religious. I'm not saying spirits are definitely the way, but like a lot of those people, I feel like they don't really have an explanation of why they came to that conclusion. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I
I
don't know.
I think it's just because like you can also bring up like historical, like Joanne of Arc. The reason why she went on her old tirade is because she felt like she was talking to some people up above, and so that's why she did do all that she did.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I feel like I agree with like you guys. Like spirits can have a very impactful because like just from a religious sense, at least me and Bryant believe that there are some people who, well, I'm pretty sure Bryant believes, but there's some people who choose not to come down to Earth and instead stay with Satan, and so those people kind of influence other people to do bad for better, and so I think that at least happens. I also think that like you can have these weird spirits who like all they want to do is like violence and cause harm. And I think these are the spirits that like I know like this might sound weird, but I believe that, contrary to you, Bryant, but
Uh-huh.
that like things can actually move from them, things can get
Uh-huh.
lifted up or people can move around. I think these are like just weird random spirits that just are different, I guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, it's like if you are religious, at least Christian, I feel like believing in spirits and ghosts has to like come along with it to some degree.
To some degree, it's different for
Yeah,
every person, though. Which
you're
degree?
right.
Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I don't, because I think there's probably like when you die, you probably stick around for a little bit, and then but you just go up to heaven. I know there's a couple people who probably just believe when you die, you have no interactions with this world whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
You can still be religious and believe that, but yeah, it's kind of like you got to believe in spirits to some degree now.
Yeah.
I think really the only point of discussion is how much do you believe spirits interact with this world? I don't think they
Yeah.
interact that much, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man, I really don't know because I'm not dead,
Yeah.
and I'm also
I'll,
not
I'll,
like yeah. I don't know.
I'll share another interesting story. So, my dad's very into like kind of supernatural stuff. I guess I kind of get this from him. But
Uh-huh.
since he is a psychologist, he talks to a bunch of different people. And so there's this one time he was talking to someone where, have you guys seen the movie Insidious?
Yes. Yeah.
Which one is that?
One
Like,
where
what's
the
it?
kid's taken over by like a demon who's trying to take over his body, and the dad has to get like a person to go into the spirit world.
Oh, I actually did
Mm,
not watch that one.
no,
Oh,
the guys watch that, right? Like,
I've
I
watched it
remember,
with
is that
Grant
the
or
one where
something.
like everyone dies or some crap at
No.
the end? I don't know. Yeah, we'll keep going.
Okay, anyway, so my dad was talking to this guy, and they said that he sees spirits all around. Like when he walks from different rooms, there'll be different spirits. And
Mm-hmm.
they don't really notice him at first, but if he stays in a certain location, they'll start to congregate around him because they kind of notice he's different. And so he has to move about every couple of months to a different location. Otherwise, it becomes too unbearable for him.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was kind of interesting because, it's easy to discount this because you can't see it, but I feel like there's like people who like get a little glimpse into this supernatural stuff, and it's hard
Mm-hmm.
just to completely say no, your opinion's invalid, like you're honestly lying.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
they
tough
could
because
be lying.
they
They
could
could,
be very well be lying.
but why, right? Like that, you kind of be
I
counted
mean,
as a liar then,
So wait,
right?
actually, let me change that. I don't think they're lying, but I don't think any of these people who are plagued by ghosts or spirits are lying. But again, with like that hallucination thing, I think that happens so much that I can never be certain of the
If
of the
it's
contrary.
medical.
Yeah.
hmm I mean, I guess I don't know. It's kind of. I mean, I guess it's like you said that you can't discount them completely, but I can't say that they're right either. So
Yeah. They're kind of like a weird gray area.
I
It's
mean,
like
I don't know.
there's so many stories. How many of them are acclaimed to fame? How many of them are, I don't know, placebo and hallucinations? Then which ones are real?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, this is funny because it's like with I did my college thesis, not the well, it was a thesis paper, but not super long. It was only like 15 pages long on if alien abductions were real or not. And so
Oh,
when looking into it, it was interesting because you could probably discount about like 60 to 70% of them were due to like sleep paralysis or just kind of like a medical hallucination or just something that like easily discounts it. And then there's like another like 20 to 25% that were just like random, like it was easily explained there. Maybe there's lights outside or something happened that made you think it was. Then there's like around like I don't know, 3 to 1% of just stuff that was like you couldn't explain naturally using anything
right.
else. And
I
so I
have
think
seen
it's
a
kind of
couple
weird that
stories like
like
that.
you just like, well, if there's that amount of claims that said like you just can't explain, does it mean it's true or does it mean we just haven't found an explanation for it yet?
Yeah. Oh man. Because it's so I want to believe like stuff like that, supernatural things do happen because it makes our world more interesting than how boring it is.
Yeah.
That's very true.
But it's also like, what was I saying? Like, oh yeah, so you know how Hori was saying like, oh, you go into this abandoned insane asylum and you feel bad.
Hmm.
Is it because a ton of people died there, a ton of mentally unstable people were there, or is it because of placebo? And if it is because of placebo, I kind of like discounts what other people are saying.
Uh-huh.
Like, because like if supernatural things happen all the time with like ghosts and stuff, I feel like random occurrences would pop up more often in like
Hmm.
a very happy place. That's not like some random house that's like new. Maybe they built it over a war memorial and then, oh shoot, they're all going crazy. I feel like that would happen at least sometimes instead of like, oh, we were going to this 2,000-year-old cemetery, over a bajillion people are dead here. I don't know. I feel like stuff like
Do
that.
you think it'd be more random instead of like coming to
Yeah.
these natural places of death or disorder?
Yeah, I
That's
feel like
true.
it'd be more random. But like
I don't know.
maybe there's a reason why it's in cemeteries because that's an obvious like, oh, people died here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I
I
said, the placebo thing. Like when you go
Yeah.
into a cemetery, you're not really thinking of anything else besides like, oh, this is where dead people are, you know? And then if you've
Yeah.
watched a horror movie, you know, it's kind of like those ideas kind of get put in your head and kind of
Because like
stick.
yeah.
after you watch a horror movie, it's like, oh, I can't sleep. There's a demon coming after me. But every other night you can just go to sleep normally.
Hmm.
Is it because the scary movie invites the devil in, like Puritans will make us believe, or is it just because you're freaking out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably argue like most of the time it is indeed freaking out. But I will say this. Whenever I watch like a show that gets really into like demonic kind of stuff and like the show Evil kind of got heavy into it, I will kind of feel like, or if I get into a deep conversation about like, just devilry and stuff, I will kind of feel like a different feeling come up. And it happens
That's
every
true.
time, but it's like a little unsettling feeling that I can't
Hmm.
discount quite yet. I don't know if it's just making myself believe that, oh, since I'm talking about something that kind of real to me, that I'm making myself a little anxious about it, or if it's like
Uh-huh.
there's a different presence that comes around.
Because it's so hard to talk about this stuff without random people being like, oh, it's because you're religious, and
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
this saying like, oh, you're stupid for it. Because personally, like, if some random person that was never religious was saying this stuff, I would be like, oh wow, like I'll believe you because you're completely unbiased.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to say anything because I'm biased. And it's very hard to be like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no, when I do this, I feel this. And when do people believe it, or when I don't know, like when is people gonna assume you're not lying for like religious purposes?
Beliefs, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I basically, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I think if I had to really just conclude my thoughts, it'd probably be just like I think like spirits and crap do exist. I think the most they can exert, because when I was talking about like things, it wasn't even necessarily like, oh, insane asylum, oh, you feel weird here. It's like, have you ever just walked around and then you just feel like someone's watching you for no reason? Like, it's not even like I watch a horror movie. It's just like a feeling you get, like things like that. It's like why is my brain doing that, like logically? Like why would it do that? I'm not scared. I didn't watch anything scary, but like I just walk around in my own house. I don't think I've killed anyone here, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like things like that where it's just kind of like sometimes you'll feel really down for no reason, and kind of the opposite, sometimes you'll feel really happy, and it's just kind of like, why am I so content? Like things like that. I wouldn't be shocked if that was like some kind of like something else was kind of affecting those.
Some
But
influence from somewhere else.
yeah, but if that's probably where I'd put the line, though. I bet they probably just influence stuff, and I think that's probably where it stops. I don't think it's like Brian said. I don't think they can move things physically. Stuff like that, I think, is like, no, this will too much for me to
Yeah.
believe that. But yeah,
Because like I do want to like think like external forces can like exert themselves onto like our world, because that is cool. It's like a
Yeah.
it's like a fictional thing, but it's also like where do you draw the line? Where is it acceptable, and then where is it like, okay, you're kind of going crazy?
it's true.
Or is there a line? Is there no line?
That's the real question. Okay, Brian, if the paranormal things were happening to you, at what point would you declare yourself mentally insane? Like where, yeah, that's an interesting question. Like
That is an interesting question. Yeah.
If it's like, what do you mean? Like, if there's paranormal stuff going around,
Okay, so
when would I
like
explain it for like realistic reasons, or when would I? I don't
just
understand.
declare
When
like
would you accept it for paranormal reasons instead of explaining it with the real reason? Right,
Oh,
George? Or is it different?
well, yeah, I guess, yeah, no.
to be honest, I would probably go insane before I would think it was paranormal.
Hmm.
Like I would
Really?
like genuinely, if there was like, if I was in my house alone and then just tables started moving everywhere, I would be on the floor trying to find like fishing wire and like trying to find hidden cameras. I would not be like, oh, a ghost is here, even
Yeah.
though it might obviously be a ghost in this hypothetical. But like, I feel like I would just chalk it up to like realistic things until I go insane.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I sometimes think about that when I go to sleep, just like what would make me like really scared right now, you know? And I think
Great before you fall asleep.
well, no, it's just I don't know, because that sounds awful. I go to sleep fine, by the way. It's just an interesting thought. Like I have a window next to where I sleep, and it's like I always think about like, what if I like pulled the drapes right now and there was like some guy staring at me? Like what would I do, you know? And
Mhm.
I think I don't know, because I think it's kind of weird, because I think I actually have the opposite kind of thing. I think if something physically moved, I would be 100% with paranormal. If I saw like someone's face, I think that's when I'm like, okay, I'm going insane. That's not paranormal. That's just me going insane. Like, there's a dude over there. I can see him right now. Am I schizophrenic? Most likely, yes. But if something moved where that's not schizophrenia, it's like that's a physical thing. My brother could walk in and be like, "Oh, that thing is there," and I could be like, "That thing was there just a second ago." Like that's not schizophrenia. That's like affecting something else. I think if that were to happen, I would be like, "Okay, yeah, ghosts are real. I'm gonna move out. Yeah, no, screw this." You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But like
That makes
don't know. It depends what state of mind I'm in. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Go on.
If it depends what state of mind I'm in, because like if I'm like top of my game, everything's going right. I feel 100% myself, and then these things happen out of nowhere. But if it's like a slow deterioration of like, oh, I thought this can of soup was here and it's gone, and then later it's like a whole couch is moved, then I'd be like, okay, now I'm going insane. But if a whole couch
That's true.
moves in front of me, I'd be like, oh crap, okay, a ghost is here.
Interesting. Because like I feel like if I saw like I was in my house and doors started closing or whatever, I would not think that at all, like ghost stuff. But if I started seeing
Really?
like my TV flew across the room, bam, I'm getting a holy man in there. I'm
Yeah.
out. Like
Yeah.
I ain't dealing with that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I feel like with faces though, like with what George was saying, I feel like if I saw like I felt like what was like a random spirit or ghost, I'd have to see it like another 2 times or at least like 3 times or like just more than once, because I feel like just a couple times is really easy to explain. Oh, that I was just thinking about someone and it manifested in front of me or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's too easy to write off.
I don't know. I like what was I forgot what I was gonna say. I feel like hallucinations are like way more like potent than what we give it credit.
Yeah.
It's funny. So apparently, like, when you don't have any prior knowledge of like something normal, so let's say like a deaf person, um, or a blind person, a blind person when they hallucinate, when they have visual hallucinations, for a blind person, it's sensation. It's sensation to them. Same thing with a deaf person. If they have auditory hallucination, it's someone physically signing to them in their mind.
Mm.
It's their hands.
Whoa,
It's so crazy.
that is weird. Cause they interesting.
So I want to know if like a ghost was trying to get a deaf guy, would they just sign in their head? I guess
Maybe.
maybe deaf people are immune because I bet a lot of ghosts don't know sign language.
I also wonder, like, if you
Well,
were able, like, you had a blind person and they saw something that they shouldn't have been able, like, to be able to describe because they've been blind their whole life. Would that
uh,
make their claim like super, like, real, or would
authentic. I
that?
would, if a blind person who's been blind all his life, and we know for a fact they've been blind, goes up to me, describes my grandfather, or someone like crazy that no one knows about, I'll be like, okay, well, ghosts are real now.
well, I think you would probably have to take that a little bit further. Like if it's a blind guy who has been like 100% living in a shack by himself, I would believe him or something.
Yeah, it
Because
can't
it
be
could be
like,
just like someone described your grandfather to him.
yeah,
He's
exactly.
like,
That's
"Oh,
why I
what
said
did
someone
Bryant's
that no
grandfather
one
look
should
like?"
know, because that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking. If it's a grandpa, like anyone could describe what my grandpa looks like to that guy. But if he
Mhm.
says, "Oh, I'm going to describe how like," what could he describe that would make all of us believe he's telling the truth?
He has a nose and he had eyes and he kind of looked like you, but like older. Like, oh
Yeah.
dang, that sounds like my grandpa.
Because
Oh my
all those
goodness.
like fake medium people, they're like, "Oh,
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
getting a sensation that someone dear to you passed away." It's like, oh, 20
That's
years
my
ago, my
great
dad
great
died.
grandpa.
Yeah, it's like stuff
No,
like that.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just dumb as crap.
that's one aspect of paranormal things that we should probably get into too, like stupid mediums and stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
I hate
I
those
have a
guys.
question. Do you think, like, with the mediums, if you surround yourself with more, spiritual or supernatural stuff, do you think which I think on one hand, you're more likely to get yourself convinced and just get confirmation bias, but do you also think
Uh-huh.
that you open yourself up to more interactions with stuff like that?
I
Yeah.
mean, maybe, but here's the thing I have issue with when it comes to mediums and stuff. If that kind of crap does happen, I think it's way beyond the understanding of a human being. a human being probably couldn't be like, oh, I can use these to my advantage and find missing people. Like, I don't think, no, that's not possible. If those things do
Oh,
exist,
yeah.
it's way beyond humans' understanding. So that's why I think like 100% I would say probably there's like maybe one medium in the middle of the Amazon forest. I'll say that. There's one guy who's like, that guy's authentic. But besides that, no, I think 99.99% of those guys are just like people who are just kind of like messing with you and trying to
Yeah.
get your money. Or maybe they've deluded themselves to the point where they just say stuff and they're like, oh, that because, yeah, I totally did do that, when in reality they didn't. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But like,
Yeah.
what Reese was saying with like, do they open themselves up to that? If I was a ghost, I would 100% mess around with a medium because everyone's gonna think they're a fake, right? And no one's
Yeah.
gonna believe it. There's gonna be no concrete evidence that comes out of me messing with a fake medium or even a real one, to be honest.
hmm
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I kind of agree with George in that like I feel like a medium couldn't really like I don't know if like grabbing a handful of salt and throwing it in the air is really going to do something to if there's actual real spirit there, right?
Yeah.
But I also feel like maybe a medium, if they, they've been, doing this their whole life, they may be able to discern, oh, maybe there's something more real here instead of you just thinking this is fake or something. Like maybe they'll be able to tell when there's a presence or something if they're actually legit.
Right.
That's saying I don't know if there's, maybe there's only one guy in the middle of Amazon forest who's actually legit.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think, well, again, I think it's because I'm biased because I watch a lot of videos on fake like people. Because I watch a lot of videos on like fake gurus and stuff like that, and psychics usually fall into the same category. So I watch
Mhm.
a lot of videos on like fake psychics and stuff. So my perception of them is like really, really like negative. I think they're
Mhm.
all just kind of like,
And
I don't
I
know.
bet most of them are not like to go with you. I don't think
Mhm.
many would be real.
But like, it's like, like hypnosis, how do you guys actually say, do you think hypnosis is real to be
Yeah.
I
because
think
yeah,
to an extent, a little
because
bit.
my psychology professor said it wasn't real, and so I was like, okay, do I listen to the expert or the
Okay, wait.
practice of hypnosis? I don't know.
At like define like hypnosis. Like what do you think, at what extent? Cuz I know there's people who think like hypnosis is like
So
like
not like abracadabra Pokemon hypnosis, like
yeah.
you relax their conscious so you can like I don't know, mold their subconscious. Because I've seen too many videos of people I trust, like I shouldn't say trust because I don't know them at all. They're YouTubers, but like they get hypnotized and then their personalities completely change. So I was like, I don't know. So do you think if you can hypnotize someone, do you think a ghost could do anything like that, where they don't need to relax their like
Mm,
what's the word where you like have the consequences to your actions?
um
What?
There's a certain word where um it just describes the consequences of your actions, like it, that there's consequences to your actions, and there's a word that describes that. Either way,
like
what if a ghost could just like
conscious?
kinda like, do you think a ghost, or if there are spirits that can affect the mental aspects of people, do you think
Mm,
that could explain why everyone chalks it up to mental hallucinations, because it would be that easy for a ghost to do something like that?
I feel like first off, like I think the hypnosis, like just being able to relax someone's like conscious and then be able to make suggestions. Yeah, that makes perfectly valid sense. And I feel like if something spirits or something was going to tamper you, it might make sense that it become like
Mm-hmm.
when you're most relaxed and when you're kind of like in that least conscious state. I have no idea, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that stuff in the high school, if that was real, if Brody Brown was really doing
Because
all
like
that, but
literally, like there was one girl I knew since elementary school. and she started twerking on stage. I don't think she would ever do that.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
yeah,
that
it's
event
weird.
is what kind of. Yeah, that event was because for context, yeah, on the last day, it's like that 3 a.m. party thing or
Yeah, it was
whatever
like
we had.
senior day or something.
Yeah, they brought in a hypnotist and they put a bunch of people on stage, people we knew personally, and the hypnotist kind of hypnotized everyone, and it was weird, dude. I remember, like, yeah, it's kind of like you said, there were people there. Like, I think the thing that kind of the thing that like got to me the most was I remember, didn't they seat Brody, and we could probably censor his name post edit and stuff. They seated some chick next to Brody, and I remember she scooted away from him because she didn't want to sit next to him. And then, do you remember when they all fell asleep? She like leaned on her shoulder, on his shoulder,
Yeah, it was
and like
weird.
just like something like that, where it's like she was sitting next to her friend. If she wasn't like, if this was a conscious decision to play around and like, oh, I'll do what this hypnotist does, wouldn't she lean on the other person, like the person she clearly is like Brody? She didn't want to be near him. He just kind of scooted away
Yeah.
from him on purpose. But then they go to sleep, and she fell asleep and was leaning on his shoulder. That was like kind of weird to me. It's like I don't know, if I was playing around, I would probably be like, okay, when I fake fall asleep, I'm gonna lean on my friend, not this person
who
I
I'm
literally
comfortable with.
scooted away from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If
so
one of
I don't
us
know.
had
That
gone up,
kind of
sorry.
weirded me out.
If one of
No,
us had
yeah, I'm
gone
done,
up
yeah.
there, do you think, and like we behaved like weirdly, would that have convinced you guys that like hypnosis is for sure real?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I don't know, because I could totally see one of our friends just doing all that just to screw with us.
Well, Jorge, if
Now,
you went up there and he made you start dancing, I'd be like, oh, it's real. Okay.
yeah, no, that's what I was about to say. If like Drew or something were to go up there and start doing some weird stuff, it's like, I know for a fact he would never, even for like fun, I don't know if he would like, do that in front of a ton of people in that like situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
We should do
I
that. We
wanted to
should get together.
hypnotize someone. We should. I've been trying to I've been wanting to hypnotize someone for the longest time, just to see if it's real.
Do you remember the red door, yellow door
That's what I
crap?
was thinking.
Oh my gosh. Did
That
you
was
guys
the
believe in
funniest
that?
thing.
I'll ask you
No.
that.
Well,
Do you guys believe in that?
If a
George?
hypnotist did it to Tomlinson, yes, but we're not smart enough to.
it was so funny because wait. So if I remember correctly, so Talmadge was trying to get hypnotized by you, right? So you were doing the whole thing, like, oh, imagine a red door, imagine all this. And I remember, for a little bit, Talmadge was going along with it, and I
Dude,
don't.
It was
Like-
so hard because I was laughing the entire time. And he was going
Oh.
along with it because he wanted to actually see if it was real. And I could not get serious. I kept he was getting a little mad at me because I could not stop laughing.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous. Like, you fade into the level of subconsciousness where you pick a door and then you get entered into hell and your soul gets sucked there if stays too long or something, right? Like,
especially when right before we did it, we looked up a J Station video.
that J
And he
station
was
would ruin
floating.
everything.
Yeah.
I might put a clip of that so people know, because that was we literally died, I think, laughing.
He's literally
When we saw that.
floating in the background, having a seizure, and we expect us to think it's real.
Yeah, we should do that again, even if it
No.
doesn't go anywhere. That would be, I don't know. Oh, we need to finish the Mandela catalog. Do you remember how we watched the first season of that?
No, I wasn't there.
I
You
wasn't there
weren't
for
there?
that either.
Oh my! Of course, you two weren't there. So you don't know anything about the Mandela catalog?
I know what it is, but I haven't seen it.
What the crap? I could have sworn you guys were there, because I feel like we did that when we watched that crap. It was a day where everyone was there.
You think I'm at every hangout we ever
Yeah,
do?
for real.
Well, it just feels like that. It just feels like that. Maybe you're a spirit, Brian. Maybe
Hey.
you're just like,
I was joking about that to Grant when we went to Las Vegas. Wouldn't it be so funny if I just disappeared and then only one of you guys realized that I was like there, and everyone else was like, "What are you talking about, Bryant? Who's Bryant?" Wouldn't that mess you up so badly?
Danny would kill himself.
whoa.
That's true.
Oh, that would mess with me though, for sure. Like if all of a sudden anyone was like, "Who's George?" I don't know what you're talking about. I'd be
Yeah.
like, "No, George, our friend." No, I'd be like,
we
"Well,
we have a
that's it."
podcast with him, and then you look up the podcast, and it's like you, Bryant, and like Talmadge or something this whole time.
I think that would mess me
that
up.
would mess with me.
I think I couldn't recover from that.
You
I'd
wouldn't.
probably
What do you
like,
mean? Like, would you just be
I
like
would go
in an
insane.
insane asylum?
Yeah,
Just
no.
forever.
I don't think I could handle that.
I probably could delude myself into being like, oh no, it was Talmadge the whole time. Yep.
really?
Yeah. Because if it makes you go insane enough that you would go insane, I probably feel like you would probably be able to delude yourself into thinking, oh, that was probably some guy I made up, and then just
true.
live
Could
the
you
rest of your life.
trust yourself afterwards? Like,
No,
then you
there
wouldn't
would
know if anything was real.
you probably would be changed forever to a certain extent, but I feel like because isn't that what a lot of people do with like real life tragedy and stuff? Like, I know a lot of people are. And this is a little darker thing, but like, when a loved one dies, a lot of people delude themselves into like thinking like, oh,
That's true.
they're still alive, but they're just somewhere else.
People can
But
get
they're
stuck
mentally
in that
insane at that
stage of.
point.
Well, I don't think it would be insane because you know the 7 stages of grief or whatever it is. One of them's
Mhm.
delusion, and you can just get stuck in that one forever.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be insane though?
Maybe, but it wouldn't be like a psychotic insane. It'd just be like,
Mhm.
Yeah, they're not hardcore like crazy insane. They just
Yeah.
insane about that part of their life.
yeah,
Like, yeah, they could probably like keep a job. They could probably do normal things that they normally did. It's just that one subject is like, oh no, that person didn't exist. I totally made that all up, even though I remember all those memories with that person. Nope, that person didn't exist. Like that,
Yeah.
they probably would go insane about. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like if that happened to me, I would just go insane because like I feel like I'd be like, no, I know myself. I know I'm not lying. Like, what's wrong with me? And then I just go. Maybe after like a years of being in the institution, maybe I'd be okay. But I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Actually, that kind of, well, it doesn't really go into it. I want to know what is the most paranormal thing you guys have experienced a little bit.
Rip.
That's a good
I got
question.
nothing.
Yeah,
You
same.
got wait, what? You believe in all this stuff and you got nothing? Like, okay, when I say paranormal, I mean like just creepy things that could logically be explained, but maybe had some kind of like, oh well, it could be Bigfoot, maybe. I don't know.
One time I was hiking, and me and my friend Caleb were in the front of the pack because I think we were the only ones that were like semi in shape at the time. And there was a huge rustle of bushes in front of us, and my friend was like, "Holy crap, that was like a furry creature." And so I was like, "Oh, is it probably like a coyote or a wolf?" He's like, "Oh no, it's way bigger." I don't even know if there's wolves in Utah, so either there's a bear right there. That's like the only thing I can think of. So it's really weak.
Mhm.
But like, I don't even know
Do
if
you
there's any
have one,
wolves in
George?
Utah.
A little bit, though. Like, I remember. Okay, so I used to live, not in the house I'm living in right now. It was another house where it was like one of those houses where like two families can live in the same building, like they're connected, kind of
Uh-huh.
like an apartment, except not really. Like, do you know what kind
It's
of
like a
buildings I'm
town
talking?
home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to live in one of those. And
Cringe.
this is why I say it's not necessarily paranormal because it can logically be explained, except I feel like even the logical conclusion is still kind of freaks me out to this day, even if it's not paranormal. Uh, basically, so our little house, we have the front door, and then there would be a porch, and it was on a hill, right? So the front door is like next to the ground, right? There's a couple steps leading up to the front door, but the front door is on a little porch, and it goes off to the right. Like, I'm trying to explain this because I know what it looks like. It's kind of hard to, vocalize it, but the porch keeps going around, and it goes to the other side of the house, and that side is on the lower part of the hill, so it's on like a second floor. It kind of turns into a second floor. Does that make sense? A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you took the whole house out of the ground, it would be a 2-story house, but you put it in the hill, and it's like a 1-story that turns into a 2-story when you get to the side of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had my bedroom on the first floor or second floor, I guess. Second floor, since I've described it that way. I had I had a window that looked out into the street, and obviously outside the window is the rest of the porch. That's why I say you can logically explain this, because one time I was sleeping, and I had drapes, but they were kind of like a little see-through, not that see-through, like you can't clearly see anything, but like you can see the light. And I remember there's a lamppost outside my window, so it was kind of like always it was like a nightlight. From what I remember, I don't think I had a nightlight. I just used the lamp from outside as like kind of a nightlight. And I remember, like, it was so weird to me, because I don't know if this can logically be explained, because I was looking at the window, and I swear something knocked on the window 3 times, but the light didn't move. Like, there was no light. Like, if that was someone, I feel like I would have seen the light. Maybe, I don't know. It just feels weird, because it was like a distinct knock. I was there, I was looking at the window, and again, it can be logically explained because there's a porch leading up to the window. It's not like I'm on the 50th story and I hear knocking on a window that's like in the air. It's like, no, someone can walk up to that window.
Who
it's
would?
just like
Yeah.
Well, because that's another thing, is I had a lot of friends in that neighborhood. Like, because I don't want to say that, oh, it's a ghost, because again, it's kind of like I said, that would literally go against what I literally said, barely, how they can't physically interact with us. So I feel like there is a logical explanation that maybe someone knocked on my window, but like crouched down. That wouldn't be a shock, trying to hide themselves from anyone like looking at them or something like that. But it was just kind of weird. And it's kind of stuck with me for a long time, where it's just kind of like,
Interesting.
I don't like that.
Creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, so
But-
Bryant saw Bigfoot, and then you had an interaction with the ghost. I will say, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna make a joke, but no, keep going.
I will say, like, for me, I haven't really had like, I've made, this is my religious part coming out, so I don't know how valid this is, but like, I will get certain feelings that will correspond to certain things in just my life. And so some feelings I've gotten have, if I feel like I need to go certain somewhere, I'll get a certain feeling with it. So, that's why I went on my study abroad at certain times. That's why I went somewhere else on a certain time. And so there's kind of like, I kind of know what feelings I get and why I get them. And like, just some feelings I get, like just what I said earlier, just like, I kind of feel like there's just something otherworldly with it. And so that's why it's just, for me, like, it's kind of confirmation for that. But I will say, the only thing that I know that's kind of interesting to me is there's a certain family member of mine who, I won't get too specific because I don't know if he wants this to be shared all over. But he was basically out on a religious endeavor, and he was teaching the gospel to someone, and he got a message that he needed to go over to someone's house. And so he went over, and him and his companion saw someone get lifted into the air and thrown against the wall. And this guy is someone that I trust, and he's not a supernatural guy. Like, he's not like my dad, where he's very into all. He's very, straightforward. Everything's kind of normal. And so him kind of saying that just really made me like, no, if he would say it, he's not the one to lie for clout. That really kind of like
Mhm.
just stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm,
It is
I
so
can.
strange to hear these stories. It's like you just can't really explain it, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean that's an aspect of like life, I guess. Like Amelia Earhart, did she get eaten by coconut crabs? Probably, but we'll never know for a fact.
Mhm. That's
It's
what I
kind of
was
awful
saying
that
with
Go ahead. Sorry.
like with Malaysia flight like 717 or whatever.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
now it crashed and we haven't found it, and there's like it could be very easily explained if we have the information, but why it happened is so bizarre that like people have chalked this up to supernatural stuff, even though
Hmm.
it's a technological like a plane is very very technologically advanced, or at least they
At the
are or
time,
have been, yeah.
yeah.
Um, and people, it's so unexplainable to some people that they just use supernatural like reasoning. And
Hmm.
honestly, for how crazy that occurrence is, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that did happen, like the Bermuda Triangle. I don't think that's a
Yeah.
real thing, but like
Tough to say.
something like that.
There might be like
Yeah.
areas that maybe not set areas, but like just times and instances where just something happened and like yeah, that plane like disappeared off the face of Earth. It felt like
You're right.
so. It's just kind of weird to be like, how do we explain this? And you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, there's probably a logical explanation, but at the same time, you can't like be like, well, because just the fact that we don't know just kind of makes
Mhm.
it like, well, there's a possibility, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
And it's
I think
creepy.
Yeah.
that's why I always like talking about like superstitious stuff though in a specific context. Like, I don't like thinking about it 24/7 because you know, I feel like if you did, you'd almost go insane to an extent. Like
Mhm.
every single decision you make would be like, oh, but what if this is the case? Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
you
You
talk
can't just
to
get
like a
sucked in.
random stranger, and it's like, wait, I mean, I can never confirm this, but what if that guy was an alien? It's like,
Yeah.
because it's true. If you like think about like a stranger you met like 3 days ago, and it's like there's no way to look for that guy ever again.
Right.
Like you never got his name, nothing like that. You could never confirm the fact that that guy is not
Yeah.
like a CIA operative or like
Mhm.
alien. You can never confirm that. So
Like,
theoretically,
yeah.
it could be the same thing where
I
that
have
guy's
I have two things to say to that, Jorge. One
okay.
of them is that completely unrelated, but you know the show like Unsolved with Shane and Ryan, I think they're called.
I think I watched like one video, but
I love those.
yeah, I listen to a lot of YouTubers who kind of do superstitious like
Hmm.
stuff every once in a while, and they always refer to them. So
Hmm.
I know who they are.
And like one of them is super superstitious, and the other is a complete like opposite. So they go into like super haunted places. One of them is making laugh like jokes, taunting the ghosts that are out there that the other guy thinks are there, completely like disregarding. I don't know. I guess if you were a ghost guy, completely disregarding like safety.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, that's so interesting because one of them is freaking out, thinking every sound is a ghost, and the other one is like sleeping in like the basement of a ship and going, yeah, this is all right, nothing's going on.
I'm fine. Yeah.
And the other thing with the thing Jorge said, there was an occurrence at an airport where a guy showed up with the passport, and it was from a
Oh.
city that never existed. And they're like, wait a minute. They took him into the back room. They're like, hey, this is kind of funky. What's going on? Like, this city doesn't exist. What's going on? And then they never found him. He disappeared.
Hmm.
What the?
No,
Let me
I
look
know
that
that
up.
story. It was a country. It was a country. I don't think it was a
Oh,
city. It was a
okay.
straight up country.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I
And
know what you're talking about.
people chalked it up to a spy, like a spy of a different country. But why would the country be dumb enough to have an entire like, just say it's from freaking Ukraine, not Kurzskeks from nowhere.
That'd be a really bad spy.
Yeah.
Or Fortnite country.
So the man
Build
was
the
arrested in
towers.
Japan in 1959 for using a fake passport from the country of Tared, and then he disappeared from a guarded hotel room.
Hmm.
That's so
Yeah.
weird.
People think he's like a I don't know, like a reality shifter. I don't know what they're called. There's someone who wasn't from our reality.
Oh,
think
like
he's
the
from a
Mandela
parallel
effect and stuff
universe.
like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think the Mandela effect is kind of retarded most of the time, but I mean, there are some things like that where it's like he literally disappeared from a guarded hotel room. It's like
Yeah.
that's weird, you know?
That is weird. Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Mandela effect is pretty dumb most of the time, though. It's like, did you know the Bernstein Bears were actually the Berenstein Bears or something like that? It's like, dude, you just forgot. Like, it's that simple. Like,
That was weird to me though, because I always swear it was different, and then I actually found out. I was like, "What the?"
but
Mhm.
I feel like that's just like you just forgot. That's it. Like the Monopoly Man
No,
doesn't have a
no.
monocle. I feel like that can be explained with the fact that most people who wear a top hat and a tuxedo, I don't think it's that shocking for someone to, when they think of it in their head, to also put the monocle, considering those things usually go together, a top hat, monocle, and tuxedo. So, like, I just hate it because some people are just like, it's clear that they just misremember things, and then they're like, dude, it's the Mandela effect. It's like, no, you just don't remember. That's it.
Mhm.
You like, who really pays attention to the Monopoly Man enough to get his like thing down to like this is exactly what he looks like. Like I
Uh-huh.
could probably point like if you like if I told you to draw the tiger guy from Frosted Flakes, how close do you think you would get?
Way off.
Ooh. Yeah.
Way off. Even though that's a brand that like I think a lot of us like have consumed over a long period of time. This is like you wouldn't really get it down because like commercials and stuff. I mean, like you've seen this guy
Well,
before.
I've never really had Frosted Flakes as a kid. I don't know. Give me
Oh
like
my,
Yeah.
you have never had anything, Reese. You don't. Screw you. I hate you.
Like,
No, but
there's one, the South Park. There's a not really a Mandela effect, but people are calling it that because they're completely retconning Tolkien's name. They're changing
yeah.
it to the author Tolkien, J.R.
hmm
Tolkien.
Yeah, they changed the subtitles and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a Mandela effect. They're just changing it.
Yeah, to screw with you. Like it's just
Yeah. A Mandela effect that's interesting to me is there's one about JFK getting assassinated where he got shot and his head completely came off and it started talking to him.
What?
Yeah, and
What?
like enough people have said that where it's classified as like a Mandela effect by a lot of people. Where
No way.
enough people have thought that JFK when he got shot, his head came off and was talking.
I don't like
What
that.
the
Nope.
heck?
Nope. I don't like that.
It's like Mandela effect was like, oh, Tony the Tiger, his handkerchief is purple. It might be red or blue. I don't care. But a Mandela effect where the
Yeah,
president head, disembodied head, is talking to you, that's crazy.
that is
Uh,
weird when it gets to situations like that.
yeah. Like,
Oh man.
you mean like people unrelated to each other? It's not like just a
Yeah,
group of
no,
people who are
it
like, let's
happened
just screw
enough.
with.
The people at the parade or the car driving by, there's enough people there where maybe it's like a corroborated story where all of them are like, oh, this will be so funny. But enough people have said that it's like, okay, this is funny. This is something confusing's going on.
Yeah. Whoa, wait. So it was people at the parade that saw him get shot.
Yeah,
Not okay. Well, it could just be like trauma, I guess. You just
yeah,
saw the president's brain get blown out. Maybe
Well,
it's not that shocking.
I'm assuming like that's people reporting by themselves or like with their spouse or something. Like I don't think
hmm
that's mass groups, so that makes it more like
yeah,
crazy. Since they didn't have like
Yeah,
cell phones or smartphones like easily connect with on the story either.
yeah.
that's true. But that,
But
I don't
I
know.
think
Weird.
you are
What do you
right that
think
like trauma could have just because I
Yeah,
mean, how often do people get shot? How many people see it? Uh, it's not a normal occurrence. So I'm
and it be
guessing.
the president.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think JFK was very revered, so to just imagine someone like that just getting dead, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Man,
I don't
Charlie
know.
getting shot? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
could you imagine that? Yeah, like you go up to your favorite YouTuber and the dude gets his brains blown out. I would not be shocked if I left that event with like some weird thoughts in my head of like, yeah, no, right before he died, Charlie turned into an alien or something like that. Like, you know?
I would just, yeah.
Also, quick
Trauma does weird
hypothetical.
things.
If the president were to get shot in front of you and he talked to you, his disemboweled head talked to you, what do you think he would say? Like, what do you think he would talk about?
I have
I
no
don't know.
idea.
My everyday life. How's it
Like,
going, Bryant?
yeah, President Biden is just like,
I feel
he
like
just got shot.
I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't matter if he's a president or not, because like at the base of it, it's just someone getting their head shot off and their head talking to them, right? Like,
Yeah.
would it really
So you
change from person to person? I don't know.
do you think JFK like physically acknowledged that he got his head shot, or do you think he was just chilling?
He was sitting there going, "Whoa, this is weird."
You're like, what happened? I enjoy this. I don't.
Also, wait, so he's like floating around and everything? Is that like
What?
is there
I'm trying to look it
when
up right
people
now.
reported this, like what were the specifics? Because I can't really imagine a situation where his head gets blown off and then you talk to him. Like, was his like
Yeah.
head rolled on the ground and then they just like went and looked at it and like he started talking to them, or like I don't know. I don't know why in my head when Bryant said that I just thought I don't know.
He
He's
just
just
started saying
floating
like, "Wow,
around.
you have a nice body. I
I
like
know.
this. I didn't realize it's so hot."
For real though, it's kind of funny how creeped out I am by that. Not gonna lie, because I just imagine my head, just like, can you imagine like watching the parade from your TV, and then his head gets shot off, and then it just slowly comes to the camera and it just starts talking to you? Like I don't like that. I don't know why that freaks me out so much. That's a
What?
weird.
How
I
does
don't know.
freak
That
you
was I don't know why that, because when Brian said that they talked to them, I didn't think about people at the parade. I thought about someone at home watching the TV
Oh.
or something. So like I don't know why that imagery of just his head just like coming up to the camera and you're just sitting there in your living room and he just starts talking to you through the TV just freaks me out so much. That's a weird thought. I don't
It
know.
is
I don't like
weird.
that. Yeah.
I'm actually looking it up right now. I cannot find anything related to that at all.
Brian
Is
just
this
made
a
it
Mandela
up.
effect?
Maybe I got Mandela affected.
In an alternate
Oh.
universe, there's people talking about how in an alternate universe, people talk about JFK's head talking to them after he dies. Whoa, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Brian just got Mandela. What the?
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if that clip I saw was just someone's attempt to make a Mandela effect or something, because this is pissing me off.
Oh, that's so funny.
Gosh
Yeah.
dang.
What if what you're thinking about is like, oh, like some dude made an example of dumb, like a dumb thing someone could like think when
That
it
would be
comes to
so
Mandela effect.
funny.
What if you actually
JFK.
did get Mandela effect? That would, Brian. If you keep looking at this and there's no evidence to show that that was a thing, would you be freaked out at all?
Not really. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Because you just came. That's such a weirdly specific, like, thing for you to think up, and like, that's just weird, dude.
Yeah, no.
I'm trying to
If I
get
can't
Brian
find this,
paranoid.
I'm gonna be angry.
Brian, don't think about it too much, Brian. They're
You guys
behind
keep
Brian.
talking. I'm finding this.
I don't know. Yeah, that's just weird. I feel, I don't know. Mandela effect's just weird to me. I feel like
Yeah.
it shouldn't like it shouldn't be that much of a thing as it is, but like it really is. So it just kind of makes me feel like there must be like a hint of truth in it. Then if it happens that often.
There are some things where I'll acknowledge that, like okay, maybe, but the Mandela effect's not one of them. I think it's all just like crap.
Really?
Yep, I don't think no. Because here's the thing, like, I know why it's so big, because it's a very common occurrence for humans to forget things, and then just, like, when it's revealed that that's not the thing they were remembering, oh, like, we gotta blame it on something, so blame it on the Mandela effect, I guess. Like,
That's true.
yeah,
It is
to
easy
me,
to
it's
blend
not.
it.
Yeah, it's not that, like, it's different than, like, I don't know, like the Bermuda Triangle. I don't think people are disappearing for clout. Like, you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Like, the Mandela effect, I feel like the reason why it's so big is that someone will, like, have a moment where they're like, oh, it's the Bernstein Bears, not the Bernstein. And I don't know which one's actually right. This is an example. And it's like, oh, it's the Bernstein Bears, not the Bernstein Bears. And then they look up and they're like, no, how is that possible? Like, I clearly remember this. And then they go online and then they hear about this Mandela effect. And then they just like, oh, I'll blame it on that. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's different than, like, an airplane goes missing in the Bermuda Triangle. It's not like the person who was flying the airplane decided to go missing in the Bermuda Triangle and blame it on the Bermuda. Like, that person genuinely just went missing. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I totally
there's
get
a
you.
there's like a difference between those two things. And I'm not saying the Bermuda Triangle is a real thing, but there's like there's levels, you know. And the Mandela effect is just, it's autistic. I just I don't know.
I'm. Yeah. Let's wrap this up because we're getting a little late. Final thoughts. George.
On with, like, paranormal things.
Yeah, just paranormal things. What are your final thoughts?
I mean, I'm kind of ending this podcast the same way I started. I just have no clue. I think what I said is the farthest I'll go to acknowledging stuff. Other things, I'll be like, oh, that's weird. Oh, that's interesting. Like the dude who disappeared from his hotel. That's an interesting story. But I don't know if things like that I can, because it's kind of like I said. It's like we don't have the facts to completely say that, oh, this is logically supported. But at the same time, that means we don't have the facts to completely say that this was a paranormal thing. You know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
kind of something we'll never know. And I don't want to base what I believe in on something not 100% to an extent. Again, I still believe in spirits and stuff like that. But, like, to the extent, because I think the reason why I believe in that kind of stuff is because I can personally attest to feeling things like that. Whereas I can't personally attest to, like, disappearing from a hotel room. You know what I mean? That's never
Yeah.
happened to me. I don't know how that works. So, yeah. But
Okay.
yeah.
Just a little in between. I got you. Okay, what about you, Bryant?
What was the question?
Just kind of like, what are your closing thoughts as we end the spell, like the supernatural?
I don't know, but apparently only one person has asked if JFK's head has been blown off, and that's it.
Oh no.
That's
Brian,
so
you
sad.
just got Mandela affected.
You got
dude.
Mandela affected.
I know what I'm doing for the rest of the day, and I'm gonna
Just
find
like-
this video.
What if the next time we see Bryant, he's progressively gotten worse? He's like going insane. Where it's like, no, dude, I swear there was a thing. They all saw his face talking. Like, I'm serious, guys.
He's
This
got
is the
doll
last
above the
time you'll see
wall.
me. I'm going back to my universe. Goodbye.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Ghosts. I think ghosts are real, but I'm guessing 99% of all sightings and experiences are fake. Maybe they can affect stuff, maybe they can't, but there's no concrete evidence, like Jorge said.
Mhm.
It
At
makes
least
sense.
online.
Yeah. No, I agree with you guys. I think, as much as we want to believe in this stuff at times, like, we really can't do anything until we either die and see what's on the other side, or
Mhm.
something crazy happens to us.
Low-key
Yeah.
can't wait to die. Just to find out secrets, not because I'm suicidal.
Okay.